the US, the Democrats and the Republicans. You do understand that. How come in Kenya,
yes,
ideology changes over time? That someone and an ideology you did not stand for last year, this year you profess the same and you're now convinced this is the right way to go.
Tell me, what ideology right now does the Democrats stand for? When they gave their ideology and the people of America chose Trump and his party, they are quiet.
They are very liberal.
Trump is working on his things. So what do you want ODM to do when you went to the ballot and chose the right person from God according to you? You want ODM to die for you?
No.
Let me come to you. No, just
it is down to personality and not parties.
You are not even giving me a chance to talk here. When they went to Parliament and said no to the finance bill, did you sit there and ask the question whether they stand for anything or not? You didn't. Only when they are not giving you what you want, then you are beginning to ask questions. When you say ideologies change, when did BAMBA's ideology or ODM ideology about justice change? He said in the 90s, no to unjust killings, no to police brutality. He still says no. Even when he was with William Ruto in Homa Bay, he looked at him in the eye and said, these killings must stop. He pushed the agenda of compensation to the victims of police brutality, including today. So when did anything change? You don't see that, you don't say that. You only want to say what makes anybody else excited out there and group everybody. Today, Sifuna speaks on behalf of that party. And he has stood against a lot of these things. Why are we not saying ODM stands for anything? No, right now, because Sifuna speaks this or Babu speaks this ills, we want to seclude them and separate them from ODM and find our ODM that we are comfortable with. Why is a Secretary General now not part of ODM and not ODM?
Now that you brought
speaks for the party, and Raila has confirmed that Sifuna speaks for the party.
Now that you brought
is ODM still not standing for anything?
Thank you, Bwana Odede. Now, because you brought it up, let's discuss that as we come to the end of that discussion. Ideology and where our parties stand. Do you agree with Bwana Odede that yes, there are some parties that have ideologies that can be identified and sustainable, and that is what we are seeing that they are living up to?
Fred, the truth of the matter is that before and during an election in this country, we have parties that actually trout up their ideologies. ODM stands for social democracy. And UDA also told us that they stand for social democracy. Jubilee told us. So a majority of registered political parties in this country are largely social democratic. But beyond the swearing in, those ideologies are dead, even up to now. And Mesh is my good friend, and we always agree on many things, but I'm not scared to disagree with him that as we speak today, it is very difficult to identify an ideological political party in this country. And I know that as we move towards the elections and the campaigns start, those ideologies are going to come up, and we will see manifestos. People like Kevin Osido will be invited to go and draft and write. And
you said something curious. Are you saying that most of these parties are more or less identical in as far as the ideology is concerned?
They are identical.
Probably that's the reason why they can easily merge with each other.
And it's because they are organized by the same people. If you realize that, for example, ODM has done a manifesto, and people like Professor so-and-so, Dr. so-and-so, Kevin Osido, etc., Justina were part of the drafters of that particular manifesto, and you also want to do your pomp launch of a manifesto, you just call them. And so you work for ODM during the day, and you work for UD at night. And
so there's no difference.
Yeah, by the following day, you deliver your manifesto, and that is the reality on the ground. And therefore, it is very difficult to even blame Wanjiku, because that is the kind of the options that we have. It is the vision that is set up from the backbone of the political party that is visionless. It has zero ideologies, and most of them are copy-pasted.
So the differentiating point is simply the personalities leading this party,
Precisely.
and not the colors of the party or the party itself.
Our politics in this country are personal. They are personified.
Which is unfortunate, and not to say that because we've been doing it, it is right. Fred, it's about time we start this conversation. If we have been focusing on personalities for the last 62 years after independence, where has that gotten us? You know, we need to take a stock as a country and see where are we going. Something else I think makes Kenyans or makes people think political parties are owned by individuals. The process of registering a political party, very rigorous. And in other countries like Germany, you can do it like even a business registration name. And after the election, if they don't get people, it's just scrapped from the system. We need to make it easier. We need to make it cheaper, because also registering a political party is capital intensive. So you might end up saying we have an ideology, but when you don't have the money, and I come to Fred, you give me money, I have to bow down to you people. So even any policy proposal I'm putting forth in the party has to be friendly to you people who funded the party. So I think it also goes back to how we register them. I'd like Odede to also tell us a character of a good and bad deputy. Is it a good one? A good one is one who kisses, you know what? Something else, working together. When Odede, you say that these people are working together. Working together, when you look at Political Parties Act, it says that the role of political parties is to shape and influence public policy. So when you tell us they're working together, are they working for Kenyans? Remember, even a mosquito is working, Bwana. A mosquito is working. So what is the impact of this working? And that is why, even when the president is saying, I'm pulling this one, I'm pulling dynasties, he should remember that Kenyans have moved away from saying, Fred is our person and he ako serikali.
Have they?
Kenyans, I have. You know, the moment the finance bill touched the middle class, that when you're importing your car, there are taxes that have increased. When you're going to hospital, you have to pay this. Capitation, there is no capitation. You have to now go into your little money to add school fees. I can assure you Kenyans have seen the correlation between these leaders.
Allow me to challenge this notion, because political parties also are required to have membership. How much of this membership of political parties is involved in the level of decision making that we are seeing at the national level? Isn't it simply the personalities that we are talking about that go behind the curtains and agree without any decision making at the party level?
Fred, to be involved as a member of a party, I even asked Bongo which party he belongs to. It's not only saying I'm a member of this party. It's about annual subscriptions. It's about you going for meetings. It's about even you giving your view in terms of policies that they're shaping. So are Kenyans ready to even invest their little money that you're told subscription for this party annually is 30,000? Are you willing to do it?
We see many people who are life members of KANU. What happened to that? Because as it is right now, it is simply about the individuals. That's why we are even probing Rigathi Gachagwa's character or his abrasive nature. We're not looking at his party. We are looking at his character. If at all the party was stronger, we would be considering the ideology of the party. But now we cannot do that, because it's simply how good is this leader, anakasirika sana, is he powerful, ametoka familia gani. Isn't that the level of our politics?
Kidogo, let me blame the media. Kidogo too. You know why? The media should be questioning him. Beyond telling us one term, what is your alternative and what do you stand for?
And I'm asking those questions on behalf of the media this morning.
I'm actually wondering, have we seen a party in this country whose heart and soul really is driven by the needs, you know, of the citizenry, of Kenyans for that matter? Because, for example, Odede has told us that we have seen leaders shifting their ideologies to go and cooperate with parties whose ideologies only yesterday vivid or very, very rigorously opposed. A case in point, for example, when you're talking about who owns the party, who makes decisions. When you see a leader, for example, where the citizens are waiting for him to come and present his nomination papers, and they see him as a symbol of their constituency, and then he finally, you know, melts out. The question is, where was the decision made? Who made the decision? Who was involved in all this? Nobody. The truth is, and we know this, and it is good for us to share this, that most of our readers, if not all, even the ODM, when they go to partner with the government in power, it is not because of the interests of Kenyans. It is not because of the interests of the people. Number one, it is because they want to preserve that. Leaders want to preserve their dynasty. Leaders want to preserve and have security more often for their ill-gotten property. And therefore, they are looking to support the government so that, number one, they can have more opportunities for business that is very clearly known. And number two, they can also preserve what they have. And I think, honestly, the only thing we have achieved with this blood-based government, the thing is, has it made the promises that, for example, UDA made in their manifesto to be actualized? Not at all. Not at all. Everybody is crying. Yesterday, I had coffee with a lawyer, a friend of mine, and he lost his brother, elder brother, who was actually a professor last year, because of very, very simple things of going and SHA is not working, and you are in hospital, you cannot immediately access your cash, the money in the account, and you're told you have to, and so on and so forth. So I think this aspect of deceiving the masses that it is about me, that it is about creating better governance rather, it doesn't stick any longer. It doesn't at all.
Yes. Final word on this one, Odede. I know there's so much you need to respond. They've raised a few questions about your sentiments.
Yeah, first, Mbugua is giving me the vibe of a church who gave us this government. When he told us this is God-given, and I mean, you look like a preacher and you actually talk like a preacher.
But I'm not one, I can assure you.
They told us for the first time the church has a candidate in this election. That's the vibe you're giving me. And you're actually repeating.
Have I mentioned the church anywhere?
No, you haven't. You're actually repeating the same thing I've just said. When a choice you made flopped, then you want to make everybody dirty. Like, all these people are the same. They are just, they are ill-gotten wealth. What? Those lines have been there all the time. When we know we have made some bad choices, it is good to just come out and say, for sure we made a bad choice.
That's true.
I mean, that is it. You don't have to go round and give us the vibe that everybody is bad because your choice turned out to be bad. So I will still stand here and say, if there are some people who have fought for the rights and freedoms, we cannot take them away because the leaders we have chosen have turned out to be bad now. Even those ones we can't recognize anymore. No, my leader has fought for the rights and freedoms, and it remains there. So whether you want to say ill-gotten wealth, you know one, you don't know. You just need to make everybody dirty so that it fits your bill. Justina, a good deputy is simple. A good deputy knows I am 1 inch away from presidency. I am part and parcel of the symbol of unity of a country. So a good deputy will not look at me in the eye and tell me that nimeweka mitego, and so if I saw anyone in the line of people who are being given jobs and he or she is one who did not campaign or was not part of us, namtoa kwa line to bring other people, a good deputy knows that is not somewhere I should go when I'm already given number 2 citizen. So anytime, God forbid, but anytime I can be a president of this country, and how will it work? And then we also need to know realities. I think reality is what we are missing. Ruto could have campaigned against Raila and everybody else, just the same way Raila campaigned against Ruto and everyone else. But I dare tell you, even if Raila was in State House, he would have still want to talk to other leaders, because you don't have everything. You still need to talk. Even Justina and his boss, if they would have been president, I am sure today they would have wanted to talk to other leaders. They can't say, now that Kenyans have given us this seat, we don't want to see anybody else and any other political party. So let's not gaslight Kenyans that for leaders to talk, it means other leaders have abandoned their post, and so it is all bad. Because if you say that, this coming election would only have 2 serious candidates who one of them will win elections as the president. Either William Ruto defending his seat, or the united opposition have gotten as someone. And those someones will also go there, and I could tell you mapema, whether united opposition gets a candidate and wins election, they will still talk to William Ruto and they will still talk to Raila Odinga. So why should we sit here and bury our heads in the sand that we are now going to get someone who forever will never talk to Raila and will never talk to Ruto. That's a lie.
True. And I think we've agreed. We're talking more about individuals and personalities, not even about parties.
Yeah.
Yes? So we do agree that parties are simply... No, I want us to move on.
Odede is telling us that a good deputy condones and preserves impunity, waiting for his turn to come.
And doesn't have a mind of them.
He doesn't have a mind of his. It's just a parrot.
Yes.
It's just a puppet.
I want us to dock there for that debate.
Are you telling me Rigiji did not have impunity?
Allow me, because of time.
Impunity even
because of time, we need to make our final comments. But there's one thing I want us to talk about, and that debate, I know, cannot end here today. Parties versus personalities, and why are we talking more about Rigathi Gachagwa's abrasive nature of politics and not about his party and his ideologies. I think that was the drift of the discussion. Finally, let's come back to the city of Nairobi. Once again, the president comes out and admits that there's a problem in Nairobi. He singled out garbage collection.